Chair is calling this meeting for McLean County regular meeting to order on Thursday, August 15th. And we will begin with an invocation or moment of silence, and that is Member Knapp.
Heavenly Father, we ask for your presence and guidance at our meeting today. May our words and actions reflect your love and kindness. In Jesus' name, amen.
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kathy Michael, County Clerk, will do the call of roll.
Natalie Roseman Mendoza.
Here.
Susan Schaefer.
Here.
James Soldner.
Here.
Jeff Tompkins. George Wendt. George Wendt.
Oh, here.
Crystal Abel.
Here.
Jack Abraham.
Here.
Corey Byrne.
Present.
Beverly Bell.
Present.
Lindsay Bloomfield. Lindsay Bloomfield. Absent. Leah Klein.
Present.
Chuck Erickson.
Present.
William John Friedrich.
Present.
Eric Hansen.
Present.
Elizabeth Johnston.
Here.
Randall Knapp. Val Lehman.
Present.
Adam Reeves. Jim Rogal.
Here.
Catherine Metzger.
Present.
19 to 1.
We have 19 members present. We have a quorum. We can conduct business. We are at number 5, and that's appearances of members of the public or county employees. And we have 3 people who would like to speak. And we'll begin with Anna Ziegler, and she is with McLean County Farm Bureau. And I believe that gives her 5 minutes since she is with a group. So, Ms. Ziegler, you're come to the podium, and believe the microphone is turned on.
I won't need 5 minutes, but thank you. So again, my name's Anna Ziegler. I'm the interim manager for McLean County Farm Bureau, and I'm here to speak about the petition that is on your agenda. Farm Bureau is proudly representative of farmers and farmland owners, and we would like to express our opposition to the proposed referendum for the property tax levy to reconstruct a Civil War monument in Franklin Square in Bloomington. We understand and appreciate the importance of preserving our history, and we respect the desire to honor military veterans. We are concerned, however, about the financial implications of this project and the property tax burden that is associated with it. Our opposition is based on a few key factors. First of all, the increased assessed valuations for property taxpayers, including farmland owners, are driving significant increases in property tax costs, even without any rate increases from any of the taxing bodies. We also anticipate that McLean County's rural property taxpayers will soon see a property tax increase due to the expansion of the Central Illinois Regional Airport Taxing Authority. Any additional tax rate increase would pile on top of those already increases that we're seeing that's being experienced by our farmland and rural property owners. The county also has significant needs to address, like infrastructure, broadband expansion, and public safety, and we believe that these should receive a higher priority for use of taxpayer dollars. The projected cost of $2 million plus any future maintenance costs would disproportionately impose the cost on a wider community for what's a niche project in a city park that will provide little, if any, benefit to rural taxpayers and farmland owners. We believe that private fundraising, city funds, or grant opportunities would be more appropriate funding mechanisms for this type of special project. We also agree that the wording of the proposed referendum for a specific monument in a specific location does not substantively conform to the language outlined in the Illinois Counties Code. So we ask you to vote yes on the resolution, not to certify the petition. So a little bit confusing, kind of a double negative, but vote yes, not to certify. So thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. We have Alan Grossing, and he is the mayor of Bellflower. And Mayor, you will have 3 minutes.
Thanks, Chairman Metzger.
I'm Alan Grusing. I'm the mayor of Bellflower. I'm also here to speak in opposition to the funding for the Civil War Monument. We support the veterans. Every Memorial Day, we have a large celebration in our park. All the graves are decorated, including our Civil War veterans and Confederate veteran that is also buried there, interestingly enough. But the taxation, the additional tax, as Anna was saying, is just one more thing for our residents to have to take on for something that's in a city park in Bloomington. And this has been a discussion. I was hoping to say as my first line, I'm here to follow on to what Spencer says, because usually he's here to represent the McLean County mayors. But we've been having quite a conversation, and actually the mayor of Bloomington commented in on our discussion thread and said he agreed with the position and did not sign the petition for that reason. So that's a side point. In our little town, when we need to do a project like this in a park, I will use the air quotes, inherited a city block through a judicial order, and now we're trying to turn that into a park. We need about $250,000 to take a blank city block that's a field right now, a hay field, and turn that into a park by putting in, a pavilion, restrooms, furniture, sidewalks, and landscaping, because there's nothing there right now. So we're looking at probably $250,000 to get all of that work done. But we never would have thought of coming and asking the county and residents of the county to help pay for that. We'll take donations from anyone. We'll do fundraising. We'll do whatever to try to raise those funds to get that park for the kids on the east side of town. But that's the way we would handle that. And I think that would be the right approach for this monument as well, to do through separate fundraising grants and all those things that we go through to try to get a city park taken care of. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you. We have Tim Maurer, and you have 3 minutes also. Welcome.
I'm going to speak to this group because I talked with them on Monday. But no, I'm just kidding. Thank you to the prior speakers. It's about money. I understand that. It's not about the citizens. It's not about the veterans. It's about the money. What you should know is, had we had the opportunity to do the intergovernmental agreement work in advance of the vote, we would have had an answer where there is low or no cost for this monument to the county. That's a reality. So your money points, you might want to consider that. I'm going to speak from the heart and from the head on this tonight. From the heart first. First of all, I want to thank Kathy, and I want to thank Trevor, and I want to thank Cassie for being wonderful to work with, sincerely. It's not been easy, but we've had a great time working together. So thank you very much. And their staffs. The county has duties. Honor the sacrifice of 686 McLean County citizens who died in service to the Union in the Civil War. That's a duty of the county. The county also has the duty to honor the sacred legal right to petition the citizens of McLean County to cast their votes for a soldier's monument. You should be very cautious about intervening in that process. Petitioning, a citizen petitioning the other citizens with the statute is a sacred right. So be very careful. The two are related. The sacrifice to preserve the Union was an act, in large part, to preserve the right of citizens to petition their government in a lawful manner. These people died for that, in part. So here's the head part. With no disrespect to anyone here, please accept that as true. I don't disrespect anybody on the board, anybody working for the county. But the executive committee made an error in their vote to deny the certification of the petition to erect the Franklin Square Soldiers Monument. Once the county clerk had determined that the petition was compliant on its face and sent it to the board for certification, this county board is obligated by statute to first certify the petition. There's a whereas in the resolution tonight I want to address. Franklin Square is owned by a different unit of government. The issue in 1868 was facilitated by an agreement between the city and the county of McLean to locate the county-owned monument on city property. There's case law behind this, but you asked about that. One of these gentlemen asked about it during the prior meeting. With respect to the current petition, the county administrator, Cassie Taylor, deferred the petitioner's request to establish an intergovernmental agreement for the same purpose until after the county board's vote to certify. Had we been allowed to establish the IGA at that time, this issue would likely have been moot. So the executive committee error is supported by case law, Geese versus Dillon, McHenry versus County of McHenry, and City County of Honolulu versus Hawaii, and Matheson versus Miami-Dade County, Florida. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We will move on to consent agenda. We have a number of items on the consent agenda. May I have a motion to accept the consent agenda? We have a motion by Abel and a second by Abraham. Sir, Member Rogel, or Chairman Rogel.
I want to make a motion to remove the approval of construction management service agreement with Midwest Construction Professionals from the consent agenda.
I think you can just request that that gets pulled from the consent agenda.
Okay. I make the motion to pull it from the consent agenda.
Okay, so he's requested that it gets pulled, so, and I don't believe we need a second. He's just requested it to get pulled. So we will not be voting on the, under the transportation, I believe, that 6B2 will be pulled. So we're not voting on that. All the other things on the consent agenda will remain. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. We will move to standing committees, and we have Vice Chair Elizabeth Johnston. And the floor is yours, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Executive Committee has 3 items for action tonight. That first item is 7A1A, request approval of resolution by the County Board of McLean County denying certification of a proposition for the erection of a replica Franklin Square Soldiers Monument, and I so move.
And I need a second. I have a second by Member Byrne. Questions or discussion? Member Tompkins.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I just had a quick question. Is the fact that we are being asked to certify this petition before it goes before the public because of the type of monument that it is? If I read the legal summary that was sent yesterday, is this because it's a soldier's monument? Does that make it different than some other kind of monument?
I'm going to refer that to the state's attorney. Do you feel comfortable answering that question?
I do.
All right, thank
Member
you.
Tompkins, the statute is not separate or different because it is relevant to soldiers and sailors. The statute just specifies that once the petition is submitted to the county clerk, that it comes to the county board for certification before it goes to a ballot. There are other statutes that allow for propositions to be placed on a ballot in a similar manner. But not all propositions need to be certified by the county board. There are other areas in which it goes directly to the county clerk to the ballot.
Additional questions? Yes, Member
roll
Wendt.
call vote on this.
A roll call vote on this. All right, very good. We will have a roll call vote. And yes, Member Johnston.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify, the issue at heart is really, we are acting as a jury. This is what was conveyed to us at Executive Committee. We're acting as a jury to determine is what was presented as the petition substantially compliant with the law at hand. So that is the question that we're voting on. At Executive Committee, we did agree that this was not substantially compliant with the law. The way that the law reads specifically is proposition for the erection of a monument or memorial building in honor of the soldiers and sailors of the county. It does give us some discretion as the county as to what and how, and this, the way that it's written, does not give us any discretion at all. So that's what we're voting on tonight. And so because it was not certified through Executive Committee, that is what we have brought forward to request that we uphold that denial of certification.
So that means a yes vote is a denial of this petition. And Member Erickson.
Thank you, Chair. I mean, I don't know why the county board cannot vote yes in favor of this resolution denying certification. It certainly has the right to express its view that the resolution as presented does not comply with the statute. I mean, I still think we have that authority to do that, and I am puzzled by people who would make this an issue of, well, you're opposed to veterans or you're opposed to soldiers. Well, it really doesn't have anything to do with that. It has more to do with the actual wording that is in the resolution. So it shouldn't be written up in any newspaper that the county board is opposed to veterans, or opposed to Civil War veterans, or opposed to World War II veterans, or opposed to any veterans, because that's not what we're doing. They can come back at it a different way, but the way that the way the particular referendum is written, we have questions about whether it meets the statutory requirements. That's our right. And there's also attached to that, there's the possibility of a tax increase if that does go through the board. And while that's a separate issue, it certainly is a concern to a lot of us. So I think we have every right to deny certification if that's what the county board has deemed appropriate, but it should not be interpreted as being anti-veteran or anti-statute. So thank you.
Additional comments or questions? All right. We will be voting a roll call vote, and that will be conducted by our county clerk.
A yes is to remove, right,
A yes is to deny the petition.
to deny. Okay, Natalie Roseman Mendoza,
Yes.
Susan Schaefer,
Yes.
James Soldner. Yes. Jeff Tompkins,
Yes.
George Wendt. Crystal Abel,
Yes.
Jack Abraham,
Yes.
Corey Byrne,
Yes.
Beverly Bell,
Yes.
Leah Klein,
Yes.
Chuck Erickson. Yes. William John Friedrich,
Yes.
Eric Hansen,
Yes.
Elizabeth Johnston,
Yes.
Randall Knapp, Val Lehman,
Yes.
Adam Reeves, Jim Rogal.
Yes.
Is the chair voting?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's unanimous. Thank you.
We have 19 yes votes, so the certification of that proposal has been denied. We will move on, and Vice Chair Johnston, the floor is yours again.
Thank you. Next item is 7A1B, request approval of a McLean County Animal Control Center Project Intergovernmental Agreement, and I so move.
I need a second. Second by Member Lehman.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Lehman. And the motion was Johnston. And are there any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the Animal Control Center being, having an intergovernmental agreement with the Public Building Commission, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes, and the floor is again yours.
Thank you. The last item for action we have is 7A1C, and that is recommend that the county board open the minutes so designated and distributed to the board members and determine that a need for confidentiality exists for those minutes so designated on the attached list. And I so move.
And I need a second on that. We have a second by Member Friedrich. If there is discussion, we would have to go into closed session. Do we have any need for a discussion? All right, seeing no discussion, all in favor of releasing those minutes, those closed meeting minutes to the public from, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. And you have the floor again, Vice Chair Johnston.
Thank you. We have no other items for action, and our minutes can be found on page 26 through 31 of the unapproved packet.
Thank you. We'll move to 7B, and that's Finance Committee and Chairman William Friedrich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Finance Committee brings 5 action items before the full board, and it is 7B1A, request approval of the County of McLean ordinance authorizing boundary modification to the area known as the Bloomington Normal Enterprise Zone, Amendment 4, Rivian expansion, and I so move.
I need a second. I have a second by our Vice Chair Johnston. Any discussion? If we have questions, I know we have Patrick Hoban is here, so if you have any detailed questions, we do have an expert here. Seeing no questions, all in favor of expanding that enterprise zone, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. And the floor is again yours, Chairman Friedrich.
Thank you. Our second action item is item 7B1B, request approval of the Animal Control Removal Agreement and Animal Control Center Agreement templates and authorizing for the chair to execute agreements with participating municipalities on behalf of the county, and I so move.
And I need a second on that. We have a second by Member Klein. Discussion? Member Tompkins.
Yes, can anyone tell me, what is a removal agreement?
With the permission of the chair, I would like to explain that a removal agreement would be removing animals from inside the municipality and then transporting them to our facility.
Additional questions? Seeing none, all in favor of the removal agreement and allowing the county chair to execute those agreements, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. And Chairman Friedrich, you have the floor again.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If it'd be okay with the full board, I would like to combine the last 3 action items, that being 7B1C, D, and E. They're all basically on the same subject matter.
Is there any objection to combining those? See no objections, so please proceed.
Thank you. 7B1C, request the acceptance and placement on file of the popular annual financial report, PARFR, dated December 31st, 2023. Second item is D, request the acceptance and placement on file of the single audit report for fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. And finally, E, request and accept and placement on file of the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023 audit and annual comprehensive financial report, ACFR, and there's a link provided below, and I move on those 3 action items.
I need a second on that. And I have a second by Member Solner. Any questions or discussion? All in favor of accepting the PAFR, the single audit report, and the audit annual comprehensive financial report, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. The floor is again yours, Chairman Friedrich.
Finance Committee has nothing else to add, and our general report can be found in the unapproved minutes, pages 14 through 18. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 7C, Health Committee, and Chairman Susan Schaefer.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The Health Committee has no items to report for action this month, and our general report can be found on pages 19 through 21 of the unapproved minutes packet.
All right, thank you. We'll move to 7D, that's Justice Committee, and Chairman Chuck Erickson.
Thank you, Chair. The Justice Committee has 2 items for action. The first item is item 7D 1A, request approval of an Illinois Supreme Court Access to Justice Improvement Grant, and I so move.
And I need a second. We have a second by Member Knapp. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approval of the Supreme Court Access to Justice Improvement Grant, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Chairman Erickson, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. The Justice Committee brings one more item for action, item 7D1B, request approval of a Violent Crime Victims Assistance Program grant agreement between the Illinois Office of the Attorney General and McLean County CASA, parens, grant number 25-1065, close parens, and I so move.
And I need a second on that. I have a second by Member Abraham. Discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor of the Violent Crime Victims Assistance Grant agreement between the Attorney General and McLean County CASA, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes, and you have the floor once more, Chairman Erickson.
Thank you, Chair Metzger. The Justice Committee has no other items to be presented for action. Our general report can be found on pages 8 through 13 of the unapproved minutes. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. 7E, Property Committee, and we have Chairperson Val Lehman.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. The Property Committee has no items to be presented for action this evening. However, our minutes can be found in the unapproved minutes packet, pages 22 to 25, and I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
Seeing no additional questions, we will move to 7F, and that's Land Use and Development Committee, and our chairperson is Leah Klein.
Thank you so much, Chairperson Metzger. The Land Use and Development Committee brings one item for action this evening. It's 7F1A, request approval of an intergovernmental agreement to fund the McLean County Soil and Water Conservation District, and I so move.
I need a second on that. I have a second by Reeves. Any questions, concerns, or discussion? Seeing none, we are voting on the intergovernmental agreement to fund the McLean County Soil and Water Conservation District. They help us with our Cumlara Lake and that area. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. And Chair Klein, you have the floor again.
Thank you so much, Madam Chairperson. I would like to, in addition to saying that our minutes are in the general report, announce that the McLean County Household Hazardous Waste Collection will be September the 28th this year. This collection is free and open to all Illinois residents. Appointments are required, however. So to sign up and get details, you can go to the website hhwmclean.org. So hazardous household waste, hhwmclean.org. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you. That is a very needed and popular event. So thank you. On September 28th, you said. Perfect. Thank you so much. We have 7G, and that's Transportation Committee, and we have Chairman Jim Rogel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Transportation Committee has one item for action tonight, 7G1A, and I'm making a motion to re-refer that back to committee. It's the Construction Management Service Agreement with Midwest Construction Professionals, and I so move.
I need a second for that. I have a second by Abel. Is there any discussion on this topic? So this is to send it back to committee. All in favor of the agreement to go back to committee on the construction agreement, say aye. Opposed? That motion passes. And the floor is again yours, Chairman Rogel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have, the Transportation Committee has no other items for action, and our general report can be found on the pages 2 through 4 of the unapproved minutes.
Thank you. And we'll move to 4H, and that's our County Administrator, Ms. Cassie Taylor.
Thank you, Chair Metzger. I have no items to present this evening.
All right. Under other business and communication, I do have something to share, and I am going to acknowledge a gentleman by the name of Philip Reynolds. He lives in rural Leroy, and we want to officially acknowledge the publication error due to an incorrect entry into the electronic land management records of his property. McLean County recognizes that the newspaper notice has been a source of concern, and there's been a commitment of maintaining accuracy in our records. That has been done. However, it was brought to our attention several years ago that a trustee deed was erroneously recorded in our system, and on July 26th of 2017, the assessor's office took corrective action to amend the records and resolve the discrepancy, only after there was a publication of his name that he had not met the requirements for his payment of his taxes. That record has been resolved and has been corrected. The county's records have been updated to reflect the inaccurate information regarding his property. McLean County recognizes and acknowledges that he purchased the property outright in 1985, and as the chairman of the board, I would like to reiterate and clearly reflect the following. The trustee deed entry was made in error. The trustee deed or lien never existed on Mr. Reynolds' property, and the correct actual deed is a warranty deed, which is the highest level of ownership of this property. And for that, we apologize for the error, and that's all I have to say on this topic. And I believe the meeting is adjourned.